snare drum rim shots are strokes where you hit the head of the snare drum and the rim at the same time. The key to make these sound consistent is aim at the center of the drum.
Now this week we're going to talk about kind of the post-recording, if you will. We've gone in with our band, we've gone in with our artists, we got our tracks all cut. Now we're going to go in and we're going to start editing. We're going to start cleaning up. We're going to start going through and choosing which tracks do we want. We're going to start comping things and putting our tracks together and beginning to build our production through editing techniques and the different things that we can do with that.
Phrasing is how you choose to say the words of the song. Interpretation, and oftentimes this can be dictated by breath. What you want to do with the breath is create a sensation of unpredictability. That way, the audience is waiting for your next words.
This class examines the concert promotions industry history beginning in the 1960s through today. Topics include the significant role of the promoters who defined the modern concert industry in the creation of new venues, the acquisition and centralization of the concert industry in the 1990s, the radio industry consolidation and its effects, the formation and role of industry lobbying associations and legislation, and the role of the artist manager. So let's get started.
Learning and practicing the skills to master your own music is essential to the independent artist these days. Though we've had an introduction to mastering and you've used the basic tools necessary to master a song, there are many more advanced techniques and processes which can be useful during the mastering stage. We'll look deeper into uses for multiband compression and limiting, and utilize different compressors to add tone and glue the mix together.
I always want to look for ways to seeing common things. It just makes things easier to recognize on the instrument when you're looking for chord shapes and scale shapes and stuff like that. In this case, we're taking a 4th string root and we are applying our 7th chords, okay? So if we look at, say, an F, okay? We start in the key of F here. The very first shape is an F major 7. So this is a drop 2 voicing. The top note is the major 3rd. The next note down would be the root tone, but that's the note that we're dropping the bass, therefore drop 2.
1, 2, 3, 4.
This is example 645. It's in 4/4, 4 beats per measure. It's in F major, 1 flat, B flat. This time we have some 8th note action happening in the right hand, okay? So I'll take it a little bit slower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Learn pretty much any genre I want, and I have learned so much, but on my own schedule while I've been touring. Hi, I'm Arielle Belvalere. I'm from Windsor, Connecticut, and I'm studying the Guitar Performance Program Associates at Musicians Institute Online. The classes are just so packed with information. I can go back, watch the classes again, pause it, rewind, and play along with it until I get it, whereas if I was in person, I wouldn't be able to do that. Learning online has definitely exceeded my expectations. We have the best staff. You will learn so much. The curriculum is incredible. I can connect scales. I learned that in my first month of MI, actually. And it's been really great with learning other genres because I can hop into any class I want, anytime I want, and just really get the most out of every lesson. And the best part, they have open counseling, so you can learn everything you want, even if it's not in the curriculum. It's like a community, but we're all over the world. Just do it. It's amazing.
All right. Hello, everyone, and officially welcome to Musicians Institute information session about MI Online and all things MI Online. So first, I'm going to introduce myself and the panel. My name is Steve Lund. I'm the Senior Director of Enrollment at Musicians Institute and MI Online. And the first person I'm going to introduce to you is the Director of Admissions for all programs, and that would be Miss Martha Torres. Hi, Martha.
Hi, everyone. Welcome.
All right. Next up, we have from our Artist and Career Services Department, Ms. Gabrielle McCormick. Hey, Gabrielle. All right. And Gabrielle is going to be up a little bit later to tell you about all the great things that Artist and Career Services Department offers. Next up, I want to introduce you to from our guitar department. He's an instructor for both, currently mostly MI Online right now, but he also has taught on campus. And I'm sure when he's in town, he's both on campus and online. He's all over the place. He's an amazing instructor and guitar player, Travis Newland. Hey, Travis.
Hey, thank you, Steve. Glad to be here. Hey, everybody.
Absolutely. Great to have you. Thank you. Thanks for joining us today. And then last but certainly not least, and the one that's going to kind of get us started here to tell you all the things about industry programs, music production, recording, music business, all those specialized programs. She's the director of all those industry programs, Miss Lacey Harris. It's all you, Lacey. Take it away.
Oh, it's all me. Like that.
Pressure's
All right.
on. It's like that now.
It's cool. I don't mind being first. Let's do it. Hey, everyone. Thank you for all the action in the chat over there. It's always cool for us to kind of see who's who and what you're all interested in. That way we can kind of direct the conversation towards the things that you're interested in. But I just want to make sure that everyone is aware of the Q&A at the bottom of your Zoom screen, where you can drop your burning questions about the programs. If you are asking, questions about, making music, we may not be able to get to those. We only have a short time today, but if you're interested in the programs, you want to ask questions about what's in those and things like financial aid. Martha's our money handler. She's going to help you with those kind of questions. But in the meantime, I saw a few people saying they're interested in the independent artist program and those adjacent programs. So I'll kind of start with that. So independent artist, producer, and entrepreneur, electronic music production and music business. Those are all part of our School of Industry Studies, meaning, we have schools of performance, which Travis is going to talk about, because he's one of those people who performs with an instrument. I saw some people saying vocal, guitar, songwriting, these kinds of things in there. So what we do in the artist programs is we're looking at basically all the different moving parts that it takes to be a successful independent artist in the current state of the industry. Right now is kind of the best time for independent artists that it's ever been, because the internet is a hugely powerful tool for us to get out there, but it's also a huge challenge to not only make our skills up to par with the industry standards out there as far as songwriting, music production, musicianship, independent artist marketing, these kinds of things, and all those little things in between. But it's a challenging thing to get your music heard. So we kind of try to address all of that holy trifecta of skill sets that you need. So musicianship for songwriters and producers, recording techniques, digital audio workstation fluency, meaning your Logic Pros, your Pro Tools, your Ableton Lives, that sort of thing. Music production chops, and just basic understanding of how to get the process started and get your stuff up to industry standard. I saw someone drop a very involved question in the Q&A. How do you mix properly? That would be a 10-week course in and of itself, and ironically, we do have one of those. We do cover that in some of the independent artist recording techniques classes. So all these kinds of things that you need in order to hit the ground running and kind of launch your indie artist career, that's what we're focusing on. So we're touching on everything from those technical side, the technical skills, and getting the recordings down. That's kind of step one. Step A, make music. Step two, make it sound great. So that's going to be your songwriting practice. And that extends far beyond lyrics and that sort of thing. It's also putting together great melodies and making memorable music that doesn't sound like copy paste, whatever. You want to stand out, because that's the idea. Copy paste music is very forgettable. I'm sure that you guys know that. So we're trying to help you guys figure out what is unforgettable from your standpoint, and kind of figure out how to maneuver within that world and find your fan base. Find your people, because if you get those few super fans going, those are going to be your kind of jumping off point for growing a career. You got to find the right people. I don't know about you guys, but I don't have millions of dollars to fire hose marketing about my music out into the world. So, you got to kind of be strategic about it. So again, I'm talking really fast through this because we have a lot to get through here. but we do address all of those different areas, and we are completely genre blind in this program. We welcome all genres of music, no matter what it is. Just bring your A game, make it happen. Beyond that, the music business program is training our handlers. And I say our handlers because I'm also an independent artist. I essentially have 2 full-time jobs. One is doing this, Director of Industry Studies, and the other one is being an artist, putting music out and trying to make it happen. So, sometimes we need a little help from the adults in the room, AKA the music business professionals, people like managers, booking agents, tour managers, all of these kinds of things, accountants, lawyers, like all those people that handle our money and help us keep our intellectual property safe. We're training those people here too as well. And we have a lot of artists actually who do come in and go into the music business program to kind of get their foot in the door and get a deeper knowledge of all the different roles and responsibilities that exist in the music business. And, that helps you maneuver through it. It also helps you get a job. If you want a jobby job, that's a good place to start. We have internships and all sorts of things involved in that program. There's internships for pretty much every program, but music business is the one where it's actually required. So that said, if you have any questions about independent artist, artist producer, and entrepreneur, which is like independent artist on steroids, it's longer and more difficult. And electronic music production, which is my little baby. I built that program and we launched it right at the start of the pandemic, which was an interesting timing situation. But yeah, we kind of cross-pollinate all through these programs. I like to create community amongst the industry programs as well as the performance programs. We're trying to bring some of those cats in so they can track for us in our epic productions. So on that note, yeah, I'd love to answer your questions in the Q&A if anyone has anything there. The one last thing I want to mention is kind of the cornerstone of the artist programs and EMP, aka electronic music production. We have a lot of one-on-one instruction. So basically unlimited access to one-on-one sessions to probably about 20 to 25 different teachers in the industry studies department, where they can sit down with you, assist you with your projects, and then at the end you hand me this big beautiful project that demonstrates everything you've learned throughout the program, and then that is what you use to kind of launch your career. I mean, to put it very simply, that's the idea, is we want you guys working on your stuff to lead to this project that's going to be your jumping off point for your music. So again, awesome to see you guys all in here. There's a ton of people here, holy smokes. So please just hit me up in the Q&A. I'd love to answer your questions. And I'm going to hand that off. Who's next, Steve? Travis up next?
Yes.
Sweet.
Travis?
Take it away, an actual musician. Let's go.
Nice job, Lacey. All right, hey everybody, glad to have you here. I really appreciate all these questions that are coming in, and as soon as I'm done with my little spiel here, I'll try to get toward answering them in the Q&A. But for one, I did see one question was like, well, how can I network as an online student, if I'm not actually in LA? And here right in this chat are people putting their links to their websites or their Instagram or their music or whatever. So, thinking just a little bit out of the box, you can definitely network still, okay? Also, I'm sure Steve will mention this, but if we're going really quickly today because we just have the one little bit of time to share amongst us all. But if you want to come to an open house, we do online open houses where you can get information about the specific program that you're interested in. Today we're giving you a really quick overview of everything. You can definitely connect with an admissions person to get every single question that you have answered. But as far as my time, I did want to talk about the performance side of the school. This is the history. MI started as GIT, Guitar Institute of Technology, in 1977 as a guitar school, and then it started adding instruments, and then it started adding all the kinds of programs you just heard Lacey talk about. But there's a long history, and it's a legendary, especially the guitar program. I think this is the place to be. But for our other instruments, keyboard, bass, vocal, I see a lot of vocal students or attendees here, drums, and guitar, right? Those are the 5 performance options. So this is an approach where we're going to try to give you just everything we can in a pretty short amount of time. If you take the certificate or associate's programs, it's completely focused on music. The certificate associates 100% music. There's no other kind of you end up with a degree if you do the associate's program without ever taking a chemistry or biology or English or speech or psychology class. Okay? So it's a really kind of intense thing in a short amount of time. The core classes that you take are technique, which for me as guitar, that means learning your fretboard, your scale patterns. If you're a drummer, that means getting your hand technique happening, your rudiments and whatever else, your timing obviously locking in. So you have your technique class, you have reading, where you actually learn to read standard music notation, an important professional skill. And if you're a vocalist, you would actually learn to sight read music. You just look at actual standard music notation, get maybe a reference pitch, and then you take it from there. We also have performance class as one of the core classes. So it's technique, reading, and performance. Performance, we provide a band for you, a professional band, and twice a week you go in and rehearse with them, and you learn specific songs that are meant to, for one, be graded, right? The early stuff is fairly easy, and you pick up certain skills, and then as you go through the program, it just gets much more difficult, explores different styles. And again, you're up on stage, you're with the band as a part of your requirement. We also have theory and ear training classes that are mandatory for every performance major. This is where you learn how your scales work, how to build chords, how they relate to each other. Ultimately, by the end of it, if I ask you, hey, what's the best thing to do over this B flat 13 sharp 11? You might tell me, well, play the 5th mode of F melodic minor or something. And you would understand what that meant, right? Beyond that, you also get a private lesson, and you choose from, I think at any given time we've got probably at least 20 guitar instructors, and you get to meet with them once a week. Every quarter you could choose a new one if you connect with a certain teacher or are interested in a certain style. But besides that, we have classes that are just important for practical purposes, learning your gear. This is for each program, recording, right? And then there's elective choices. So you can customize the program to what you're interested in. Electives can be based on styles. There is a class for college credit at MI called Guitar Heroes of the 80s. And each program has its own bunch of electives. But then there's also a lot of students are just interested in a lot of things, and you can take intro to drums, even if you're a bass student. You could take intro to voice if you're a keyboard student or something. And music business classes as an elective, songwriting classes, tons of electives that aren't even necessarily specific to your instrument. The last 2 things real quick, and I'll pass it along. MI has 2 really unique offerings that are very helpful to students. One is called Open Counseling, and this is where it's not on your schedule as a student, but it's on our schedule as teachers. For example, tomorrow I have to be online available to any student who wants my help for any reason. It's not dictated by me. The students come in and they say, hey, this is what I need help with, this is my question, this is what I'm hoping to get from you right now, and I work with them. So open counseling is a hugely helpful thing. There's multiple hours a week of it, and it's just up to you to take advantage of it. There's another thing called live performance workshops, which is where you're going to be recording yourself as an online student. You essentially are going to get college credit for building your YouTube channel, right? If we say, hey, show me a song that you're going to learn, play it as good as you can, get help from your teacher to prepare it, go to Open Counseling to help prepare it, and do a good recording of it. And now we give you credit for it, but then this is something you can use now for your own benefit and maybe add to your online presence. So anyway, I think that's probably where I should stop. There's plenty more to talk about, and I'd hope to connect with all of you guys here sometime, hopefully at an open house or something like that.
All right. Thank you, Travis.
Yeah,
actually, you know what? Before we jump over to the career side, let's cover a little bit more details about some of the programs. So I'm going to give you all just a recap and also lengths of programs. That's a pretty common question. So going back to the industry programs, when we say industry programs, again, I know Lacey covered it, but again, recap. That to us means music production. And I mentioned this in the chat. Our music production programs, the names of those programs are independent artist and artist, producer, entrepreneur, as Lacey mentioned, right? Independent artist is 6 months. It's a 6-month certificate program. Artist, producer, entrepreneur is 1 year. So it's an additional 6 months. As Lacey said, it's independent artist program on steroids. So if you really want the whole music production package, you definitely want to do that 1 year artist, producer, entrepreneur program. We also have electronic music production. So again, it's a very focused music production program, obviously specifically for those who just want to create all digital music, and everything you're creating is in that digital format. Super cool, unique program. We also have music business, and there's the lengths of our music business programs, very, very different. We have a 6-month certificate program that is available online. So 6-month certificate, one of the really cool things about that music business program is it comes with not an optional, an internship program, but it's actually mandatory. So when you do that 6-month program, and Gabrielle's going to talk a little bit more about internships, but all of the students actually are required to do an internship. So you get 1 internship in the certificate program. And then we also do have a 3 to 4 year bachelor degree. No, excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm jumping ahead. Associate degree in music business. It's called Associate of Science degree in music business. If you do the associate program, you get guaranteed 2 internships within that program. And in a nutshell, music business covers marketing, promotions, distribution of music, setting up tours, artist management, music law. I mean, it's very, very in-depth. Great program for either musicians, performers who really want to learn about the business side of the industry. By the way, we've seen a lot of our performance students will do performance first, then go into music business, maybe even get a job soon after they graduate in the industry. So now not only they have a job, they're making money, but they're also being able to make the connections that's really going to help their music career. So that's one thing to think about. And then we do have a number of students in that program that are not really looking to pursue a career as a musician or performer. Maybe some of them don't even play instruments at all or very little. And they really just want to be involved with music and work on the business side of the industry. So super great program for that. And then the last one I want to mention on the industry side is studio recording and audio engineering. So our audio engineering program offers a 6-month certificate program. We also do have a studio recording program that's an associate degree level. So it's also an associate of science, and that's a 6-quarter, 1.5 year associate degree program. So you have a couple of different options there. And then we also have a live music event production program. And Martha, correct me if I'm wrong, it's 6 months? Lacey, Martha?
No, it's a year.
Year. I knew that. That's what I was going to say. It's a 1-year certificate program. That's live music event production. Again, another unique program where you're really focusing on everything that has to do with live music concerts. Anywhere from mixing sound at clubs, smaller live music venues, to major concert halls, to major arenas. So our students, when they leave that program, will be prepared to, be the main sound engineer for bands that are doing world tours. In case some of you don't know, on the business side of the industry, artists these days are making pretty much all their money by either merchandise, marketing, or touring. That's why you see a lot of these bands that say, oh, we're retiring, we're done with touring, and now they're right back out touring again. That's where they make all their money, right? So there's actually, a huge demand for audio engineers that can mix live sound. So there's a lot of opportunity in that field. Definitely keep that in mind. Again, certificate programs, 6 months to 1 year, or you can do a 1.5 year associate degree. So I covered everything on that. Similar kind of on the performance side, we have the certificate programs for performance are 1 year. And then there's an Associate of Arts degree in performance, and that's a 1.5 years, 6 quarters. We do also offer bachelor degrees in performance. Currently, those are only available on campus, but there are some plans and talks about offering those online as well. So just kind of keep checking back with us, and certainly when we're going to have like an official release date for bachelor online programs, we'll be sending that out to everyone. So yeah, I think that covers that. Martha and I will talk more about start dates and admissions and all that in a little bit. But now let me turn it over to Gabrielle, and she's going to tell you all about Artist and Career Services. Take it away, Gabrielle.
Thank you, Steve. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us. As Steve said, my name is Gabrielle. I am the coordinator for the Artist and Career Services Department, familiarly known as ACS. And as our beloved MC, Dan Kimpel. Oh, I'm sorry. We've got a party crasher. Hi, Jay.
It's Jim
You'll meet
Belushi
him
just
very
walked
soon.
in.
Oh my goodness, he's back. As I was saying, oh, nice. As I was saying, our beloved MC Dan Campbell often says it's one thing to get an education, it's another to get work, right? So that's where ACS steps in. We offer everything from individual appointments where we work on resume building, mock interviews, we help with job searching. We also organize clinics and workshops and panels, all of which you can attend if you're local or visiting town, but most often they are streamed as well. So even as an online student, you are still able to participate and, like today, contribute to the chat, ask questions, and be involved regardless of where you are. We also publish a newsletter twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, so please be sure to check your student emails. You'll see them there. Those are going to keep you up to date on industry news, available job positions, and of course, MI News. We also have an industry mentorship program, which is facilitated online. So you can tune in with any of our industry professionals and get their insight and their experience. I'm going to drop a PDF in the chat where you can see a little bit more about our services. I also have a QR code that you can scan to schedule an appointment with us. Otherwise, I'll also drop the website and our email. So you can contact us with any questions prior to enrollment. But of course, most of our services are reserved once you are actually attending. Am I passing it on to Justin?
We are, everyone, we have a
Jim
special
Belushi over
surprise
here?
guest. You might think he's part of the Blues Brothers. Sometimes he is. But I'm going to turn it over to him. He's actually got he's on a really cool assignment, and I'm going to let him tell you all about it. So ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Justin Apergis. Justin, you there? You with us?
It's pretty loud where how is it on your guys' end?
Hey,
Oh, it's fine.
It's fine? Okay.
Sounds
Welcome
great.
Good. Welcome everybody. My name's Justin. Nice to see you all. See, Travis, if you were in LA, you'd be on this gig right now. I'm in Malibu, right on the beach. With Stuart and Ron. We're playing a business opening for an art thing right here on the ocean. So
Should've been
welcome
on that
everybody. Huh?
I should have been on that gig, man. Dang.
This is what happens when you're out of town, my friend. All right, welcome everybody. Great to see you all here. My name is Justin. I'm going to show you the learning platform, the LMS, that you guys are going to be working through as you're taking classes here at the school. And what we do is we use a company called D2L. It's called Desire to Learn. I'm aware of Blackboard and Google Classroom and all those other ones that are out there, but we use D2L probably because it's the most comprehensive and everything like that. And I'm going to show you some samples of some of your classes here. Let's start with everybody's favorite class at the school, harmony and theory. So when you're in some of the performance programs, you'll take ear training and theory and classes like this. And the way your courses are laid out for you is, I'm sure somebody has told you earlier, we run off of a 10-week system with midterms and finals and everything. And your classes are designed this way. And a bunch of us have designed it specifically like this, so you can keep track of everything that you're doing for every class that you're in. And so if you're in this theory class, what happens is you see the week numbers, you see week 1 notation. This is the level 1 theory class. So you get notation basics, major scales, intervals within the scale, different triad approaches, chords, and all the major scale harmony, minor scale harmony in other courses, and modal harmony in other courses. And what happens is you can open up any of your courses and you can watch pre-made videos at any time done by our teachers that help prep you for the lessons and all the stuff that you're covering on in this in your classes. So like in this week, it's an intro week. It's the first week of the quarter, but you can see every single one of these is a different video about the topics that you're covering within that week. And so you can see them, you can watch them over and over again. You can listen to your teachers.
You will also learn about the grand staff, ledger lines, the musical alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
That's the sax. Isn't that Ron? That's the saxophone player I'm playing with tonight. So you'll have videos that cover your topics, short videos which you can learn, and they help you. I mean, and what I really like about this system, and Travis and I talked about this a lot, is when I was in school, I would sometimes have those things where like I'd finish a class and I'd be like, what the heck just happened? What did this teacher just talk about? There was so much information given to me in a short amount of time, and I would forget it. And it's really nice with our system to where you can always go back and watch everything over and over again. All of your courses will have Zoom recordings where you can join the classes either during the set time, or if you miss the class, which is totally fine, you can always go back and watch your Zoom recordings for these classes where you're watching the teacher go over the material. And you'll go in there and you can see cloud recordings from those weeks from these teachers. So this is a sample of one of our theory classroom recordings. Is this you, Travis? I don't know who teaches this one.
It's been a couple quarters since I taught that class.
All right. So, and so this looks like it's one. Now I'm on a spacey Wi-Fi from the beach, so I apologize if it's not super fast.
Looks just like it, but it has 2 flats down the side.
And so you'll have recordings of the teachers teaching your classes and doing that to be able to watch your recordings over and over again, which is what I really like about this system, is to be able to go back. Everything is tracked. You can see everything. If you're an instrument player, and I'll show a class for Lacey in a minute too, obviously. If you're like an instrument student, say you have videos of your teachers demoing the materials, demoing the lesson. This is a guitar course where you can see on 2 weeks, first week they cover progressive rock, progressive metal, funk, gypsy jazz, American songbook, band comping, jazz. So it's a very wide variety of topics covered. And if you open it up and you're like, okay, well, what are we doing in progressive rock this week? Well, you're going to have some videos by the teachers that are talking and describing the topics to you, showing you mini lessons. I have stuff like this in the bass courses if you're a bass student. And you'll have
One rule that I live by as a musician is to seek out the simplicity that lurks within the complex. So with this chart, the simplicity lies in the chord grips themselves. Check it out. If you play an open E, bar chords are formed from that shape simply by moving your fingers. So the index finger grabs all of the strings, right? We know that already. But this song is based on open bar chords. And what I mean by that, so you got the E, move to the F sharp, there's an F sharp chord. But if you lift your index finger, which is barring across all 6 strings.
So again, you'll have guitar lesson videos for all of you instrument players. We'll have specific videos for you on that type of stuff. If you're in the industry schools, Lacey, a lot of her classes. Uh-oh, I pulled the wrong course. Give me a second. Let me find the right course. I'll pull up last quarter piece for it. So if you're in an industry class, one of these is called visual media. And if you're taking this course, again, the same type of thing. You're going to have your weekly layout of all your stuff that you're going to have with all your materials for the courses, different videos, topics, discussion topics, assignments, and you'll have different lesson videos and different things in there for these courses. One of the questions that a lot of online students ask Martha and her team is, how do we keep up with attendance when we're in these online programs, because we maybe can't attend the class live or something like that. And we handle that by using these discussion boards. And what happens is the teachers, we have discussion topics based off the weekly classes where you're taking them, and you will get your attendance essentially by participating in these discussion topics and talking about what you're discussing and what's happening in the videos and in those classes for the week. Because again, since you're online, we don't expect you to always be there. You don't have to be there at all, except for your private lessons. And so for these courses, that's how you're doing your attendance, is you're going into discussions and you're participating with your other classmates. It's also a great way for the online students to get to know your other online student friends and peers. Even though you might be in different parts of the world or in different areas, you can still build relationships and communicate with all your classmates, which is one of the things I really like about this, is it gets you involved with us no matter where you are, and it lets us be engaged with you no matter where you are. So, so these are some samples of your courses and what they look like and what you would be doing when you're taking classes in here. We go through this stuff in more detail when we see you guys at orientation. So if you're doing orientation for the fall in a couple of weeks, we'll see you in a Zoom meeting and I'll dive into this stuff a little bit more. And hopefully it won't be as loud as in the background as it is right now where I'm at. So, again, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your stay here with everybody. Steve, I'm going to go shove off and tune up if that's okay with you, sir.
What? You're leaving so soon?
Do you want me to hang out? I mean, I can show you the view. It's really nice. I mean, it's
thank you so much for
man,
joining.
the ocean. Thanks, guys. Great to see you all.
Hey, don't forget to, yeah, there you go. Say, stop sharing your screen. Thank you. Everyone, how about the virtual round of applause for Justin joining us from Malibu, California, right before his gig. I think he has downbeat in about 30 minutes.
20 minutes, but we got a great band. We're good.
Awesome.
Later,
Enjoy, my
guys.
friend. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Take care. All right. How about that? Joining us from Malibu. That's awesome. I wish I was there right now. Anyways, but we're not too far away in lovely Hollywood, California. So now, if she's ready, I'm going to turn it over to Martha, and she's going to talk a little bit about the enrollment process, admissions, maybe a little bit about financial aid if you want. We'll both cover information about how to fund your education, and also start terms and how to apply for fall. Martha, it's all you.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for sticking with us. And, you know, one of the things that Justin didn't mention is that a lot of our instructors are working professionals. So he's out there gigging right now, but he also teaches at MI. So that's one of the benefits of being part of the MI family, whether you're on campus or an online student, it's still the same faculty. So you'll really get like really up-to-date information, and you really get a feel of what's going on and what's required, what's changing with the industry, because they are still performing and they're still out there doing the thing, right? So I just wanted to make sure that we highlight that, so you know that our faculty is top-notch. There was a couple of questions in our chat about distinguished alumni, and Lacey was so kind enough to put in some information in our chat. So if you have any questions about that, make sure you look at that. But we've had, you know, varied celebrities, if you will, or very successful people that have come through our doors and gone on to do really great things, both, you know, in front of people and behind the scenes. So, you know, you just never know where a career in music with MI can take you. But insofar as admissions, which is what my department really does, we're really your first contact when you inquire into MI. We've had a lot of questions about what program might be better suited if you want to do this thing, or what program might be better if you want to do this other thing, or if you want to combine different things. So our admissions department, they're the ones who are going to be able to converse with you, kind of just pick your brain a little bit, where your skill set is at, what your goals are, and try to, you know, work with you to find a program that's best suited for you, because that's what we want to do. We want to make sure that you're paired, or that you choose a program that's going to help you accomplish whatever goals that is that you're setting out to do. So that's first things first. So it's always live communication. You know, they can call you, they can text with you, email, whichever, Zoom, whichever you prefer, just to get that that initial information going. And then once you guys have narrowed down what program you want to pursue, then the next step is, of course, submitting your application. Now, the entrance requirements are going to vary depending on what program you're going to be doing. So for example, if you're going to be doing our independent artist program, that's going to require a couple of songs. Whereas if you're recorded songs, whereas if you're doing a performance program, depending on your instrument, that's going to have a whole set of other requirements. So that's why it's really, really important to connect with your admissions advisor, so they can let you know exactly what it is each program is going to require. And also the different levels. So if it's a certificate program, it has a certain set of requirements. Our bachelor's program has a different set of requirements. So we'll be happy to go through all that information with you. But if you want to get just a general info of what those programs require, I'll put a link in the chat where you can kind of just go through all of that information. Everyone, regardless of what program you're going to pursue, though, needs to have a valid high school diploma or a GED or equivalent. It's okay to apply if you haven't graduated high school yet, if you're still in the process, not a problem. So long as before you start, we have that final transcript and your final high school diploma. That's really all that we need. Super important. In terms of start dates, so we've been talking about quarters. And what does that mean? It could get a little confusing because you hear quarters and you hear semesters and you hear terms. So basically, MI is year-round. We have 4 quarters throughout the year. The next one coming up is going to be our fall quarter, and that's usually our biggest incoming class, just because people tend to follow your traditional, academic or traditional schooling. So our fall start is going to be October 7th, so in about 4-ish weeks. Still plenty of time to apply, especially for you online students. It's just a lot easier to get started online because you don't have to worry about relocating to LA if you're not in LA. But time is of the essence, of course. The sooner that you submit an application, the sooner that we can connect with you and go through whatever requirements are needed. And especially if you're going to be utilizing any type of federal financial aid like FAFSA or submitting scholarship applications, you want to apply right now because that can take a little bit of time. So again, I'll put a link in the chat, or maybe Steve can do me the favor and putting a link in the chat of how to apply. Thank you. How to apply. And then everyone that's attending today, we'll put a promo code in there that can help with some of those application costs. So typically our application fee is $100 non-refundable. But because you guys joined us today, we wanted to help you out. And given the state of affairs with, inflation and everything, we want to help you out as best as we can. So you use this promo code that we'll put in the chat, and that'll drop down your application fee from $100 to $50. And that'll be fully refundable in the event that you're not accepted or something happens that we're not able to have you move forward with us. Those $50 are fully refundable. So again, it's just a little way of MI helping you guys out because we know how expensive things are nowadays. And then on top of that, we are offering a small scholarship, but a beneficial scholarship to everyone that's attended here today. So all of you who start this coming fall, so in October of this year, if you're a full-time student, you'll receive $750 off tuition per quarter. So that's for the duration of whatever program you pursue. Half of that if you're a part-time student. And then for whatever reason, if you're not able to attend this fall and you want to attend sometime next year, unfortunately that increased scholarship is going to be dropped down to $500. Still a good amount, but if you want to save a little bit extra cash, I say go ahead and apply sooner rather than later. That way you can have as much financial assistance from MI as you can. And Steve put in the information in the chat. That way it's all clear. But if you don't have time to write it down, if you're driving, if you're doing whatever it might be, not to worry. Your admissions advisor is going to connect with you starting tomorrow and into early next week. They'll go through the promo code. They'll go through what you need to provide for that scholarship. They'll just give you all the information that you need to help guide you through this entire process. And it doesn't stop there. Once you're accepted, they're still going to connect with you. The admissions department is still going to connect with you to make sure that everything is going smoothly, to make sure that whatever concerns and questions you have are answered and addressed. And if admissions can help you with whatever question you have or concern, then we'll find a solution for you. We'll find an answer for you. But yeah, that's really all that I have right now. I know that we're going to talk about additional scholarships in a minute with Steve, but if you guys have any further questions in terms of admissions, feel free to put it in the Q&A. I'll put my contact info in the chat as well. You're welcome to connect with me, and I will help out the best that I can. And I hope to see you guys virtually or in person really soon.
Excellent. Very nice, Martha. Thank you.
Welcome.
Before I cover any information and start blabbering away, I want to actually go back to Travis. There's a couple of questions I want to turn over to you.
Yeah, I've been keeping track here. I've listed several of them, mostly from Brian. Appreciate you, Brian. Glad you're interested, and I'm going to try my best to help you. So Steve, if you don't mind, I'll just rapid fire through a few, and if I missed any, let me know. So one, Brian asked, what is the average age of your students in the on-campus program? And I don't have the demographic info in front of me or anything, but I'd say, yeah, Steve, what is it?
Actually, now the largest percentage is 20 to 24, and right behind that is 18 to 20. So just think of it as the larger percentage, 18 to 24. But we do have students that, I mean, there's still a good number of students that are in their mid-late 20s, definitely well into their 30s. The oldest student that I personally worked with, she was, I think, 56, 57, and she did the 1-year certificate program in drumming. Retired professional jazz vocalist who first started off as a drummer. And when she was here, she was probably the most popular student on campus.
Oh,
So
is that all? I've had them up to 70 in independent artists.
Oh, nice. Well, I was just about to say, I know we've had students even older than that.
We have recently too.
Yeah. But I mean, that's personally the ones I've worked with. It is an amazingly diverse campus and community, both on campus and online. I mean, we have a lot of students that cover a wide range of ages. There's a lot of passionate individuals that love music that just couldn't really study music earlier in life, but now they're in a position where they can later. But yeah, the majority of the students, 18 to I'd say 20s, 30s.
Yeah, it's all ages ultimately, and all, gosh, online, all locations. One of my private students just recently, he graduated, but he studied from Korea, and you get to know people from literally around the world, and all kinds of backgrounds. You will fit in. It's if that was the purpose of your question, everyone fits in fine, so don't worry about that. Next one from Solomon. Official deadline for fall semester scholarships. I believe that has passed, unfortunately, but we are on a kind of rotating, constant scholarship. Like if you missed it this time, it doesn't mean that you can't get a scholarship at some point. Maybe not for the fall term, but coming up again, it's gonna open up again. Brian's next one was, what's the difference between attending on campus and online, especially for guitar? Lives actually in Hollywood, so could do either one. So the main difference is, and another person asked this question too, it's mostly for the performance stuff. If it's really important to you to be on a stage and play live with your classmates, then you would want to be on campus. If you are kind of like a lot of people are these days, where your stage is your home and you turn on your camera and you connect with everyone around the world by recording videos and posting them online, then you're good. You can study from wherever you like, do the online program. For performance purposes, that's probably the biggest difference. Next one, Roger. Please provide more information. Oh, I think Lacey caught that one, actually gave a link for it. And then last one again from Brian, what if you have an AA degree, can you transfer to the bachelor guitar program? So if you already have an associate's degree, that means you have done a lot of those general ed classes, like math, history, science. I feel like I'm almost quoting Big Bang Theory intro, but you know what I mean. That's a quarter of the bachelor program right there. If you've done a full load of general eds, that's like 1/4 of what you would need to do our bachelor program. So you definitely have a big head start. I actually did the same thing. I'm a Bachelor of Music and Guitar Performance graduate from MI class of 2006. All right. And I stayed, before I moved to Hollywood, I did 1 year of college, not trying to knock out my gen eds, and I came to MI with a little bit of a head start on that, so that was good. I think that was the ones I saw. Did you see anything else, Steve, that I should address?
Someone asked about if you could just maybe explain a little bit more about guitar technique and music theory, or just maybe little examples of what is covered in that.
Yeah, that was Roger. So Lacey put a link to the website, the guitar one. But and you referred to it, Roger, as the guitar and theory program. Every performance program, you have to study music theory and ear training and all the things I mentioned earlier. So there's not a theory program specifically, but of course that's a lot of what you do as you're learning. And honestly, I would feel a little bad if I just talked about guitar for the last few minutes that we have, but I really, honestly, Roger, would be happy to talk to you at some time. So if you want to contact me directly, it's travisin@mi.edu. Okay, my last initial is N. It's just travisin@mi.edu, and maybe we could find a time to chat, or I could give you some email replies or something.
One last thing, Travis, can you maybe explain a little bit how live performance workshops work online?
Yeah, so this is an interesting thing. The live performance workshop was intentionally created the online version was meant to mirror as closely as possible the on-campus version. The history of MI and LPWs, right, live performance workshops, is that it's the most independent part of what you do. You're required to do it every quarter for the associate's or certificate program, and but it's up to you. There's like literally like a million ways you could fulfill this requirement because you just have to play, you have to perform, you have to learn songs, you have to go play. And on campus, you would do that on one of our performance rooms or in our concert hall or something. But it's up to you how you do it, right? Maybe one week you get your credit by playing at the funk performance workshop. Maybe then the next week you do the jazz, and then you do the Latin one, or you just do 10 times, which the requirement is 10. You do hard rock 10 times, right? So it's totally up to you, very independent, and that's how it is online. You have to learn songs, you have to play them, you have to record them, of course, and post it. I guess you don't have to, you could actually sit with a teacher and play. This is one of the things I do on Fridays, so tomorrow I'm going to be available for a couple hours actually in the day. If students want to play, like literally hop on Zoom with me and play right for me right there, they can do that. And I've had students do that even just this past couple weeks. But mostly they record maybe the time, maybe they're in a different time zone so they can't make it at the time that I'm available, or they just prefer to record, whatever. And I watch the recordings, I give detailed feedback, and they can check that, and we can talk about it next time, or they can come hang out with me the next time, whatever, if they have questions. But yeah, it's very open, and you just have to keep learning songs and performing. It's a performance degree, so that's a big part of it.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Travis. Appreciate that. So actually, there is still one more opportunity to apply for scholarships for fall. We had a few different deadlines that we were running, so it can get a little bit confusing. But there is the last final deadline is September 22nd. So again, if you want to start in the fall, even if you haven't applied yet, you can submit your application now, which is also a requirement. So in order for you to be considered for any Musicians Institute or MI Online scholarships, you definitely need to submit your admissions application because we need to know what program you're going into, what's the length of that program. So definitely apply to MI, apply to your program. The main requirement is submit your audition if it's for performance programs, whatever that main requirement is. And then absolutely you can go online and submit your application for the scholarships. You can find all of the information. Stand by.
I put it in the chat.
You already did?
Yep.
Of course you did. Let me also put into the chat financial aid page for everyone. So you can also not only apply for scholarships for fall, you can also still apply for financial aid. Really the main thing is you all just want to jump on that as soon as possible. Speaking of both of these subjects, we're going to dive much deeper into both financial aid, how you apply for federal financial aid, the FAFSA online, and also scholarship opportunities. And Martha, I got this one. I'm copying it right now. We're going to have a financial aid and scholarship information session next week. That's going to be on Thursday, September 19th at 4 p.m. So I highly encourage all of you to click on that link, register for that. If you're not able to attend, again, just connect with your admissions advisor or just connect with us directly. I'm going to provide my email in the chat. So all of you are welcome to take that. Also, someone asked earlier, is this being recorded? Yes, I did mention that, but I just want to cover that again. So this webinar is being recorded. We're going to send out a link for all of you to view this recording so you can go through this information again. I know we covered a lot and kind of went through it rather quickly. So yeah, you can definitely do that. What else? Let's see here. Scholarships, by the way, are they're partial scholarships. The amount usually ranges from $1,000 to $2,000 per quarter off your tuition. However, it is possible to be eligible for more than one scholarship. So the scholarships do stack. That's what we call stacks. You can be eligible and receive more than one scholarship. There's also even scholarship opportunities that are kind of tied into your financial aid award package. So there's lots of opportunities there. And even for our domestic students, if you're applying for federal financial aid, just so you know, there's both loans and grants, right? So grants, that's free money that you don't have to pay back, free money from the government. And then loans, of course, you do have to pay back, generally go into repayment after you graduate and finish a program. So that's the quick overview. But again, to learn more, join us next week. Boom. There it is again. Look at that. Oh, I thought Martha was posting at the same time. I think that pretty much covers everything. We're just about at time. Is there anything else, anyone on the panel that would like to address before we potentially sign off here? Martha, anything that we didn't cover?
No, I think we covered everything. Just a reminder, we're still accepting applications for October start. The links were placed in the chat. Time is of the essence. Please apply soon, especially if you're going to be applying for financial aid, because that takes forever to process. So go ahead and apply, and then your admissions advisor will connect with you between tomorrow and early next week. I'll put in my contact info in the chat. So if you guys have urgent burning questions that must be answered immediately, please email me, and then tomorrow I'll connect you guys with your admissions advisor. And again, thank you for joining us, and we look forward to having you either on campus or virtually. And we're excited to see what it is that you're going to do musically.
Absolutely. Thank you, Martha. I did the same thing. I just put my email in the chat again. So by all means, please reach out to either one of us. If you have any questions, need additional assistance, we can also schedule one-on-one Zoom meetings with you and your admissions advisor. That's great. That's a great way for you to just answer or ask all the questions that you have, get everything answered. They can also guide you into the right program that's the best fit for you. I also posted in the chat, and do it one more time. If you're either going to be in Hollywood in November, or if you're local, if you want to travel out, we're going to have an on-campus open house on Saturday, November 16th. Really cool opportunity, a lot of fun, great way to see the campus, meet some of the instructors, meet all of us in person. So if you're able to do that, please try to join us for that. With all that, I think we are at time. We are done for today. And like Martha said, we look forward to seeing you all, interacting with you either online or on campus. Thank you so much for joining us. Really means a lot. Everyone have a great evening, great day, wherever you are. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.